What if I told you that there's someone out there that can run forever without getting tired? Or there's one person in the world with perfect night vision? Sounds unbelievable, right? Well, the world is made up of people with diverse features and DNA characteristics. Some of these genetic mutations have really shocking results. Let's take a look at 10 of these bizarre people with shocking genetic mutations. Before we dive into this list, make sure to leave a like on this video. Also, if you would like to join this month's Star 5 giveaway of a brand new iPhone 15, then all you have to do is subscribe to our channel and watch this video until the end to find and comment the hidden message. Good luck! At number 10, Lachlan Samples. This little boy, Lachlan Samples, is absolutely adorable, and it's not just because of his lovely little smile. Lachlan's parents were shocked to see that their child had a strange hair type, and it seemed like no one understood what was going on. No matter how much they tried to comb it or brush it, the hair would just never stay down. Eventually, a doctor had a diagnosis, and Lachlan was confirmed to be suffering from a rare genetic condition called uncombable hair syndrome. Well, this was definitely the perfect name, but many people laugh at his parents when they tell them this, and this is the reason Lachlan's hair looks so rough all the time. And that's because it is such a rare condition that only about 100 people around the world have this condition. Usually, kids with this syndrome will have white or strawberry blonde hair. Thankfully, it doesn't come with any damage to the body functions, and most of it will grow out by the time they hit puberty. At number 9, Mui Thomas. Mui Thomas lives in Hong Kong, and for more than 3 decades of her life, she has lived with a genetic condition known as harlequin ichthyosis. Mui is one of about only 100 people around the world living with this rare genetic skin disorder, where her skin cells multiply as much as 10 times faster than normal. Due to this, her skin sheds frequently, leaving her susceptible to multiple infections. Living with this condition is so tough, Mui has to learn how to navigate a body that doesn't adjust to temperature easily. She can get very hot or very cold very quickly, as her skin has no temperature control system. Most of the time she spends her morning in the shower scrubbing off dead skin, and admits that it's tough dealing with people's reactions to her different appearance. Thankfully, she has the full support of her parents, who encourage her to get out there and be amazing, rather than sit around feeling sorry for herself. At number 8, Dean Karnazes. Can you run for hours at a stretch? Well, Dean Karnazes can do that and way more. He can run for 3 days and nights non-stop. This might sound impossible, but Dean displayed such superhuman strength in 2016, and that became the subject of medical studies. Experts discovered that he could run as much as 350 miles without stopping. Here's an idea of just how long 350 miles are. If you were driving at a steady 50 miles an hour, it would take you 7 hours to cover this distance in a car. So to run that far for so long is a superhuman feat. According to the experts, Dean can do this due to his body genetics that continuously flush out lactates rather than allowing them to build up to cause cramps and tiredness. Therefore, this allows him to run unusually long distances without experiencing fatigue. It's so fantastic that Dean can run 2 marathons in a day and he would hardly be sweating. Number 7, Joseph Merrick. When Joseph Merrick was born in 1863, he looked as perfect as any other baby. This English boy grew up so fine with no major accidents and had a typical childhood until just after his 5th birthday, when his life changed forever, and not in a good way. His mother watched in horror as Joseph's physical appearance changed drastically. It started with swellings in his lips, and then they began to turn thick and gray. Eventually, Joseph developed more unusual lumps of flesh around his forehead that shocked everyone even more. Due to limited scientific advancements at the time, it was tough to get a diagnosis until his condition was recognized as Proteus syndrome. This is a genetic condition that causes bones, tissues, and other organs to grow disproportionately, leading to massive external growths. His mother believed that his condition was the result of her altercation with an elephant while she was pregnant, and eventually, Joseph was nicknamed the Elephant Man. This condition led to heavy bullying and an inability to walk, so he had to leave school and lead a somewhat secluded life until his death in 1890. Number 6. Kelly Fido White. Taking showers as many times as you want can be a great way to relax after a hot day outdoors or to relieve stress after a long day. However, for Kelly Fido White, who has to take at least 4 showers a day, this is not a recreational choice. As soon as Kelly hit puberty, she noticed that people around her started to complain that she had a bad odor problem. To the world, she had a rotten fish smell that Kelly couldn't perceive herself. So she started to mask this in cologne and body spray, while also showering at least 4 times a day. Still, this did very little to get the smell away. She was diagnosed with a rare condition called trimethylamenorrhea, or it was also known as fish odor syndrome. This is when the body can't change the strong-smelling trimethylamine produced in the gut due to a breakdown of certain foods by bacteria into different chemicals with no smell. There are only about 100 identified cases in the world, with people smelling like fish, onion, and sometimes human feces. Unfortunately, there's no known cure for this condition, but Kelly is able to manage this through specific nutrient intake and a very strict diet. At number 5, Shin Hyun-young. What if you could be young forever? Shin Hyun-young is literally stuck in time because you'd never be able to tell his age accurately through his appearance. This man is actually in his 30s, but he looks like a middle schooler. So it's tough to go into bars or date, as he physically looks like a 12-year-old. He stopped growing physically at this age, but his mental age remained consistent. At first, doctors assumed that Shin was only late in hitting puberty, until they discovered that he had a rare genetic condition called the Highlander syndrome. This means that his body ages at a gradual speed such that his body features look like that of a child. This condition is so rare that very little medical research has been done on Highlander syndrome. Although it doesn't come with any life-threatening condition, it is very tricky and stressful for Shin to prove that he's an adult, born in 1989. This is the real-life Peter Pan, trying his best to live a life as normal as possible. He has a regular job and a not-so-bad social life. At number 4, Nadia Lauricella. Nadia is a social media influencer with a bubbly personality who loves to play sports and wear cool makeup. It's more fascinating that she does all of these things without having arms. Nadia is one of only a few people in the world born with the rare Phocomelia syndrome. This condition affects less than 1 in 100,000 babies born every year, and it's a congenital condition where the child is born with either deformed limbs or no limbs at all. Nadia was born with no arms and deformed legs, and she's learned to navigate basic tasks with little supervision. Unfortunately, there's no known cure for this yet, with experts still working out the major causes of this condition. However, they suspect that this is due to a use of the drug thalidomide during pregnancy. Still, this hasn't stopped Nadia from living a life to the fullest, despite being bullied as a child. Her prosthetic legs allow Nadia to play sports while she uses her toes to perform daily chores. It really is quite amazing. At number 3, Harnam Kaur. Harnam Kaur holds the Guinness World Record for the youngest woman with a full-face beard. She maintains a 6-inch beard that's all natural and proudly moves around with this facial feature. Harnam was born in a traditional Punjabi family in the United Kingdom, but was diagnosed with polycystic ovary syndrome at a very young age. This is a condition where females have a high number of male hormones. In Harnam's case, her condition led to excessive growth of facial hair. As a young girl, she tried to wax it off as much as possible, but it was a painful and uncomfortable process alongside the bullying. Eventually, she learned to accept this condition and maintain the beard with regular grooming. Harnam is all about practicing self-love, and she proudly walks on runways as a model. Number 2, Bayezid Hossein. Just as it's possible to suffer from a condition that makes you look much younger than your age, the opposite is possible. This is the curious case of Benjamin Button. Now, this was a fictional story of people that aged backwards. However, as unbelievable as it sounds, Fitzgerald was inspired by a condition known as progeria that causes children to age rapidly. Bayezid Hossein suffers from this extremely rare condition, and at the age of 4, Bayezid already looks like an 80-year-old man with severe pain in his joints, falling teeth, and wrinkled skin. Due to his condition, he's aged about 8 times faster than other children, leading to an unusual physical appearance. However, despite this, Bayezid was an intellectual genius as his brain activity increased rapidly with his aging. He was capable of thinking like a grown man rather than an actual 4-year-old. Sadly, he passed away in 2017 as his body had reached its 100-year limit, even though he was only 5 years old. And at number 1, Nong Yuhi. If the world should suddenly fall into pitch black darkness, there's only one person in the entire world that wouldn't even be bothered, and his name is Nong Yuhi. And he has the power to see absolutely perfectly in the dark. Now, usually only animals can do this, but Nong is not your typical human, as you've already probably guessed. He was born in China with cat-like eyes that are the deepest shade of aqua blue. At first, his parents thought the eye color would change as he grew up since it wasn't a common shade in China, but that never happened. Eventually, doctors ran several tests to determine if this different shade had any effects on his vision. Then they discovered that Nong could perfectly read and write in dark, meaning that a complete blackout didn't affect Nong's ability to see. This was perfect night vision, and the first human in the world to be recorded with this talent. So it's not surprising that there's no actual diagnosis. And that wraps up today's video. Leave your thoughts down in the comments below. Make sure you subscribe and give us a like, and don't forget to turn on your post notifications so you never miss a video from Star 5. Thanks for watching.